or 763-5292. Alternative Health Solutions, your path to being well. And we thank you for staying with us right here on the most influential name at Radio I-95 as we step inside 34 minutes brought to you by the Eden Heights Clinic, one of the most advanced state-of-the-art alternative clinics in the Caribbean, where they offer a dynamic combination of life-changing treatments that are specially tailored to your needs. And with me in studio via the phone lines, we have Dr.
Thompson.
Dr. Thompson. Wow. Yeah, between Dr. Thompson and Dr. Navarro. How are you, Dr. Thompson?
I am doing very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good myself. Thank you.
All right. Praise God for that. Yeah, I guess the voice, the voice threw you off a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm here. You might get a slight difference in the voice. Other than that, you just really have to look out for it, to be honest. All right. Well, of course, welcome to those that are joining us for the first time on I-95.5. Of course, to those that always join us on a Tuesday at 2:30. Thank you for your I'm looking for the word. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I'll put it that way. Of course, we're going to be looking at the digestive system. Today, we're going to look at digestive issues, digestive problems. This is actually a particular issue that generally is like a common thing now. A lot of persons tend to come into the clinic itself and they will have either constipation. They will basically be talking about things like heartburn or Gerd. They will basically have like things like diarrhea, vomiting, cramps, even lots of gas that might come on. And of course, persons would like to know what could be the cause, how to fix the issue. But this is what we tend to help persons with at the clinic. All right. So before we get into the program today, persons who are joining us, you can also join us on Facebook Live. You could also join us on our YouTube page live as well. And that's on Eden Heights Clinic, Eden Heights Clinic Live on YouTube and on Facebook as well. On numbers that persons can get in contact with us, they can call us on 493-9196, 493-9196. And guess what? Exciting news. I have exciting news for those that are living in the East. Okay. So from next week onwards, Eden Heights Clinic in Trinity, so the branch in Trinity, will be open on Tuesday and Thursdays only. Of course, persons who want to make appointment for Trinity, you can call for appointment for either prolozone therapy or IV therapies. If it is that you want to get a live blood test done, colon hydrotherapy, and much more. So you can call our 640-8985 number, 640-8985, or if it is that you want to get in contact with us at the Shogunas branch, you can call our 493-9196, 493-9196. You can actually WhatsApp this particular number as well. So for Trinity, 640-8985. We're going to be opening next week. All right. So that the date will be February the 27th. So starting from February the 27th, that's the Tuesday and Thursday only. All right. So we'll just be starting off with those 2 days. So if persons want to get their appointments, they can always call us on 640-8985. You can call that number now. If you're now joining us for the first time, thank you. And of course, as we get down into this program today, you'll be able to get us on YouTube and of course on Facebook as well. We're going to be just looking at the digestive system. And as we go through that, we're going to deal with certain types of complications that person might have been having at this moment. You might be a person that is dealing with chronic constipation. Well, guess what? We have the remedy that we generally use for that. Now, with constipation, we look at the causes. We also look at, the solutions. So as you stay with us in this particular program today, just for about half an hour, we're going to be going through the different complications of the digestive system. Now, again, we still have our special going on, that February special. You just have a limited time again to basically call and get that special on. So, of course, our February special will be consultation, live blood analysis, colon hydrotherapy, which includes our Soaky bed and rectal ozone, blood pressure testing, and of course, urine testing. Now that was 11:50 and it's now 9:50. So I would take advantage of that particular special, and it's actually for a limited time because by next week, so this special is going to end. Of course, we always have specials going on, so you look out for that, but you don't want to miss out this particular special. So take advantage now. Call our number 493-9196, 493-9196. Welcome to those that are joining us on Facebook. We have with us, of course, Laura Thompson and Alberta France. All right, thank you for joining us today. Okay, so talking about gut health, talking about the digestive system, and our first short topic would be constipation. Now, constipation depends on what you put into the body, okay? I would say it as plain as the constipation depends on what you put into the body. What does the colon need to keep that peristalsis movement going? One of the main ingredients will be fiber. Another main ingredient will, of course, be water. So what are some foods that will contain a lot of fiber? You're talking about things like, so we'll start with seeds. All nuts and seeds will contain lots of fiber. Then we also talking about, if you want to narrow it down, you can narrow it down to things like flaxseed, chia seed, which has a lot of fiber, especially flaxseed. It's excellent for those that are having bowel issues. Now, if you have chronic constipation, well, then we do, at the clinic here, we do what we call colon hydrotherapy. It's an excellent treatment to help persons overcome chronic constipation and get you back on track where you'll be going off, let's say, an hour after finish eating, or even sometimes an hour and a half, 2 hours after eating. So constipation, it's, as I said before, it depends on what you put in. If you're not drinking enough water, but you're eating a lot of fiber, then that actually starts to bind. So you need that water to get that softening of the feces itself. An excellent natural food that can be used is okra. Okra is actually excellent for the bowel movement. What also, of course, that creates nice slime would be things like melangen is also excellent for the bowel movement. Some person use a tiny amount of organic olive oil is actually excellent for the bowel movement as well. So as we go along, I'll be calling out certain foods, and then of course I'm going to tell you what we'll use at the clinic here, which is excellent for detoxification. So you don't want to miss out on the specials that we have, and of course those that are now joining us for the first time, again, our Trinity branch will be open Tuesday and Thursdays only. Okay, so Tuesday and Thursdays only. You can call for appointments for colon hydrotherapy, live blood analysis, prolozone therapy, and other IV therapies as well. You can call that number 640-8985, 640-8985. You can call that number now to get to make your appointment as soon as possible as you can. So gut health again and digestive system health. A lot of persons come into us with complaints of heartburn or basically acid reflux. Now, acid reflux, it's basically when the valve is not functioning properly as it's supposed to keep the contents of food within the stomach. So how does that take place? Usually if a person eating late at night, that can actually contribute to a person having acid reflux. If you're a person that is consistently using a lot of animal foods and excess of it, it can contribute to you developing acid reflux. So of course, when you're chewing your foods, if you're not chewing your foods properly and you're eating very quickly, it can contribute to acid reflux as well. Then you also, persons who tend to eat and drink at the same time, it can actually contribute to that person having issues with their stomach. So you want to chew your foods properly. You want to drink maybe, let's say, half an hour before eating. And if you want, you can drink after the meals. Now, I know some person might be eating certain foods that might be kind of dry. So you can use maybe about 4 ounces of water with your food just to keep things nice and moist. So again, call our numbers to get in contact with us. You can get us on 493-9196, 493-9196. Those that are joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, you can send in your questions at this timing. And of course, as we open up the lines in a few minutes from the radio, I-95.5, you can always ask your questions about the digestive system and how to overcome. Now, for persons that are dealing with acid reflux, an excellent herb for that is what you call cypripedium. Now, it's sometimes difficult to find. You may get it in a powdered form. They might have it in capsule form. Once you get that, it is excellent to deal with any type of heavy amount of acid reflux. Another thing to relax the sphincter or the valve itself that keeps the food content within the stomach, and that is what you call magnesium. Magnesium is the best natural muscle relaxer. So sometimes person might have muscle spasm that is taking place. Magnesium is excellent. So all your green foods will contain a lot of magnesium. Also, basically, for some persons, as we said, going down into other foods that can affect the digestive system, sugar, brown sugar, white sugar. Now, when we talk about sugars, we're not talking about your complex carbohydrates. We're not talking about fruits. We're more talking about refined sugars, and that's the brown sugar or white sugar. Now, if you need a replacement, you could either use a little honey. Some persons might use basically stevia. There's also maple syrup that some person use as well too. But you can't use too much of it in the first place. There's also coconut sugar. So the safer ones, honey, coconut sugar, stevia. Stick to those, and that should be fine for you. All right. Again, if you need more information on our specials, you can call us now on the 493-9196 number, 493-9196 number. And again, of course, persons who are now joining us from the east, you have the opportunity to go to Trin City branch, and we'll be open on Tuesday and Thursdays only. So you can call to make your appointments if you need to get any particular product or supplement that you need to help to overcome any digestive problems. If you're dealing with pain, if you have bleeding, if you have basically, let's say a person that might be dealing with a lot of gas problem, definitely you can call us. Now, I want to give just a little information on gas. Most of the time, foods that tend to affect persons who have a lot of gas buildup is things like peas and beans. Now, I always recommend for persons to soak their peas or beans overnight, at least around 12 hours. You want to soak it. Afterwards, you're going to wash it out properly, and then you can put it into your slow cooker and cook that slowly so that you'll be able to get rid of excess levels of phytate. Phytate is an enzyme that generally causes lots of gas to build up. And of course, bacteria that will come that is found in the gut itself, it tend to have an effect as well too. So if you're now joining us, you can join us live on Facebook and also on YouTube. And of course, those that are on Facebook and YouTube, you can also tune in on the radio as well every Tuesday. All right, so every Tuesday on I-95, we're live with my dear brother, Cameron. Right, so you had a question? All right, so well, just going to continue sharing here. Now, diarrhea, there are a lot of persons that are dealing with diarrhea. This is a problem where, let's say there's an imbalance in bacteria. So sometimes there's an decrease in the amount of bad bacteria, or sometimes you might not have a good functioning stomach. The stomach contains high levels of hydrochloric acid. That acid actually plays a great role in protecting you from harmful bacteria. Now, if it is that your stomach is not functioning as it's supposed to, food poisoning comes about very easy for that person. And food poisoning could involve things like gas and diarrhea and even vomiting as well, too, and nausea. This feeling of lots of like dizziness, and you're feeling upset. If your person is getting like a lot of stomach cramps, or let's say bloating, maybe you're a person that needs to clean out the bowels. So this is why we do our colon hydrotherapy to help with that. Now, there are many other conditions that a person can look at. You can talk about gastritis. That is basically when the stomach becomes, the lining of the stomach becomes very inflamed. And that can happen to a person who is using like lots of unhealthy pepper. Now, I would say unhealthy because you have cayenne pepper that is actually excellent to help with gastritis. Now, some persons, they have reached the stage that is so bad that they can't even use the cayenne pepper to help out. If you're a person that are dealing with ulcers, cabbage is excellent to help to heal ulcers. Cayenne pepper is also excellent as well too. You just take a little pinch of it, you put it on your food, and you keep using it. If you're using the cabbage, well, you have to juice that just about 4 ounces daily, 15 minutes before your meal. It can help with acid reflux. It can also help with persons that has ulcers as well. So let me just give out the numbers again. For Eden Heights Clinic Trinity, you can call 640-8985. For Eden Heights Chaguanas, you can get us on 493-9196, 493-9196. Of course, service that is available again is our ultrasound services. Now, this ultrasound services will actually be available on Wednesdays, and that is in Chaguanas. Now, it starts on Wednesday at 2:30, and we'll just give you a little time frame. Will be up till like, let's say, 4 p.m. Now, for this particular service, you can actually insurance claims are accepted for this particular service, for the ultrasound services. All right, so I would take full advantage of that if it is that you know that you have ultrasounds to do, either for the abdomen, the chest area, if it is that you want to check your thyroid, if you want to check the pelvic area, women that are having trouble with excess bleeding, if you're having trouble generally, let's say the cycle is off, then you can call for an appointment to do an ultrasound of the pelvic area. And as I said before, insurance claims are now accepted for this ultrasound service. So feel free to give us a call on the Chaguanas for the Chaguanas branch for this particular service. And that number you can call will be 493-9196, 493-9196. All right, so those that are joining us on Facebook, you can always shoot us a message now if it is that you have any particular question, and of course YouTube as well. So some foods that will assist the digestive system: green foods, so green leafy vegetables. Now, when you're doing certain types of green leafy vegetables, some of them you may have to let's say steam. So for example, you'll have to steam things like Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli. What you're doing there, you're breaking down the fiber a bit. As you break down, all right, the fiber, it makes it easier for the gut to accept that now, for the stomach to help to break it down, for the intestine to help to break it down properly. So that's one of the main things. Of course, if it's leafy, then you can always just sit down, cut it up nicely, put it in your food. Persons that having stomach issues, what is also excellent, pawpaw. Pawpaw is excellent for the stomach. I will recommend that for anybody that having trouble. Orange peel, or even sour orange peel, is also excellent for the stomach. Peppermint, for persons that are having like lots of gas or upset feelings or nausea or even cramps. Peppermint tea is excellent for that, and it works really good. if it is that you have, let's say, hemorrhoids. Now, hemorrhoids, you need to monitor what you're eating. I'm not saying you're going to get rid of it totally, but if you monitor what you're eating, then you wouldn't really have a problem with hemorrhoids. All right, but you have to pay really close attention to that. Now, if you're looking at the digestive system, there are many things that we haven't talked about as yet. So we'll go into a part 2 next week on this program. We have to touch IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, gallstones. We'll basically talk about diverticulitis, liver disease, fecal impaction, bowel, mostly all bowel problems, things like constipation, celiac disease. I'll go into that a bit next week as well. So we have a lot to share and a lot to talk about. So feel free to share the information. Feel free to give us a call on the 493-9196 number. And that is for Shaguanas. And for Trincity, for only Tuesday and Thursdays, you can get us on 640-8985. 640-8985. So any information that you like, give us a call as of now. So Cameron, I'm going to take the last few minutes here to maybe get some calls from persons on the radio itself.
Okay, 622-622-3937. We're just going to take about 3 quick calls. If you have any questions you would like to ask the doctor, what you can do so now. Good afternoon, Andy. Good afternoon. Doctor, you heard the question?
If coffee affects the digestive system?
Yes. I have somebody saying that.
Right.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Hello, good day. Good afternoon. You are live, sir. Good afternoon. Okay, doctor. So while you're waiting another call, you want to ask the question?
Sure. Well, coffee, I will give a definite yes to affecting the stomach. Now, as I said before, one of the main things for muscle relaxer naturally is magnesium. Coffee actually lowers the levels of magnesium in the body. As the levels of magnesium drops, automatically the valve could actually become weak. Okay, so that it can cause things like heartburn to increase. It can basically affect the liver function, right? So coffee can contribute to that. Coffee generally affects a person's bowel movement. I know some persons have different effect of it. Some person will have constipation, some person will have diarrhea. All right. Now, one of the main thing, it increases the hydrochloric acid levels pretty high. And as that level goes up, automatically it's going to affect the throat area, the esophagus. And then after a while, it's going to affect the liver, the small intestine. And, some person, it will affect the nervous system. Anything that affects the nervous system will affect the whole body function. Going to affect his sleep as well, too. So I would say if that person is consistently drinking, they will need to start cutting down slowly because they don't want to come off too quickly because you'll get withdrawal symptoms. And it's very difficult to go through those withdrawal symptoms.
We have a caller. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Gentlemen, ask the doctor what was not. I never got not. I'm not. Cash not. That I'm not doing it with shut eye. Shut eye. There's a full of it everybody. But I never got not. Cash not on. I'm not. Is that good? Doctor?
Right. Cashew nut and almond nut. Now, cashew is slightly acidic. Almonds basically are alkaline. So I'll eat more of the almonds and less of the cashews. But both of them are good. The only one that we tend to have problems with is peanuts. A lot of persons tend to have allergies when it comes to peanuts. So I would say to be very careful of that particular nut.
Saying almond nut is more healthier than that we should be eating.
Yes. And it's packed with a lot of protein as well too, and L-arginine, which works very good for the blood vessels itself.
622-3937, room for one more call. If you have any questions you would like to ask the doctor, good afternoon. Welcome. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, so that's cool. I wasn't sure. Doctor, we have 2 minutes left.
Right. So I guess let me just do some closing off. All right. So of course, talking about the digestive system, this is just part one. We're gonna go deeper into it in part two. Of course, we touched on constipation, we touched on diarrhea, touched a bit on gas, but there are certain things that you can definitely use to help to overcome. At the clinic, we have different treatments that persons can take advantage of. Of course, at this moment, that is actually still going on, is our February special. So persons who want to get in contact with us to take advantage of that, because you just have one more week and that's about it, right? So 640-8985, and that's for Trinity. We're going to be open on Tuesday and Thursday starting from next week. And for Shogunas, you can give us a call on 493-9196, 493-9196. For those of you that are looking for total body detox and rebuilder, all right, maybe you can give us a call now on 493-9196, and I'm talking about our balance and detox, next balance and detox, and phytopower. Now, these are actually excellent for the gut itself. So persons that are listening on to this program, this is something that you can take advantage of, and it could be a total detox for the body. So total detox and rebuilder. Okay, so 640-8985 for Trinity. We'll be going to be open on Tuesday and Thursdays. And for Shogunas, you can give us a call on 493-9196. And just one more thing I would like to share with you. Of course, we have our ultrasound services that are back at this timing. It's only done on a Wednesday. We start like 2:30. This particular, you can actually get insurance claims for it. So take advantage of that. And I hope by God's grace that everyone will have a blessed evening. So WhatsApp us now on 493-9196 to get our February special, our ultrasound services, and of course, basically to get information on that total body detox and rebuild, which can be used as a home treatment, especially for those that are living far off. All right, so Cameron, I hope that you have a blessed afternoon and that all goes well with you.
Chat again next Tuesday.
All right, God bless you.
Dr. Brian Simpson out of the Eden Heights Clinic, one of the most advanced state-of-the-art alternative clinics in the Caribbean, where they offer a dynamic combination of life-changing treatment.
Okay, right. So I'm seeing some persons still live on Facebook and YouTube. Now we're off from the radio. I will stay on a bit with you. So let me take some questions. Anybody, any questions that you have now, you can ask those questions now. Right. So I'll be staying on just for a short bit. All right. So talking about the digestive system, what you can do, how to overcome. Now, this digestive system involves a lot of different, problems that can happen. So from IBS, IBD, from persons that are having bleeding, okay, we have certain modalities that we use at the clinic to help with it. Diverticulitis, liver disease. If you're a person that have gallstones and you need help with that, once they're very tiny, it could pass. That can pass out. If you're dealing with ulcers, we can also help with that as well. Disease, but this one in particular, you don't see much persons with it. Celiac disease itself, it's an issue where persons will be, gluten sensitive or allergic to gluten. So I would say if you're that person generally want to cut out the gluten, you don't really have a particular problem with celiac disease again. So what causes cramps in the lower leg? Okay, that's a great question. Now, cramps in the lower leg could be, let's say if you have a back problem, right? For example, some person may have a pinched nerve, and sometimes they will actually get like cramps in the lower leg. If it is that you have circulation issues, if you're diabetic, you can actually get cramps in the lower leg as well too, because of the high sugar. It can contribute to cramping and numbness taking place. To overcome that, now this is a simple thing that you can do. You can use bay leaf. Right, bay leaf is actually excellent for that, especially for diabetic patients. But for general persons, you boil, let's say, 7 leaves of bay leaf. You can start doing it morning and evening. Naturally, it will work on calming the nerves down. It will also basically help with sleep. And if you add the orange peel or the orange leaves itself and the flower, it can work excellent for cramps in the lower leg. The main causes, it can also be a person that will have either clogging of the arteries, and that can also, like a clogged artery in the lower leg. If you have also like blood clot itself, it can contribute to that too. All right, any more questions before we wrap up this program today? All right, so we just have about a minute again. For those that join us, you can join us on live again, I-95.5 every Tuesday at 2:30. We'll be on live. Now, this week is just part 1. So you're not going to get too much information. Part 2, that's where I'm going to, put out as much information as possible. And we're going to narrow into, let's say, the stomach itself, because that's the main one that person tend to have issues with. And we'll touch on the on constipation, on the bowels, and how to keep them clean and nice. All right, so I hope that everyone have a blessed afternoon, and I hope by God's grace all goes well.